Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is going to be social media and specifically how it affects healthy body image or how it has an impact on body image. So I touched a little bit on this on my last video on healthy body image. I was giving tips on how to have a healthy body image, but I wanted to expand more on the social media aspect because especially nowadays we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have YouTube, we have all these different outlets of even like on Instagram, you can see what your favorite celebrity is doing. Just like, it's insane. You can see what they're cooking for dinner. I mean, we didn't have this technology when I was a teenager, and I'm so grateful that we did not have this technology. But we still had these same issues. I mean, we were still influenced by women and men's bodies in magazines, and we had that, and television. So we still had this, but I think now it's just blown up. Because there's so many different outlets and technology has come so far that I think it's important to discuss this, especially if you have a daughter or a son. You might want to let them watch this video. Not to say that it doesn't affect anybody older, because it affects all of us and it's an important issue. But I think it's especially sensitive for the younger generation because they're so used to social media. I mean, all of us, my generation, we've had to get used to it. Right? Whether we like it or not, we've had to get used to it, but it's just part of their life. It's just part of the way it is now. So it's a big deal and it should be discussed. I made some notes as I usually do because I don't want to forget anything. So the number one thing I want to touch on social media, and we all know that images are altered. So images have been altered for a long time. They've been altered in magazines, through Photoshop. We know this. I mean, by now we all know this, but take into consideration today's social media. So there are, and I'm going to be very, very respectful, and I'm not going to mention any names because this is not about shaming anybody. This is not about calling out people. This is not about, and if I give that impression at all, I apologize in advance. I'm really going to make an effort not to mention names, but I think I will hint at maybe who people are, but I don't want to mention any names. So especially a platform like Instagram, for example, there are a lot of, I mean, it looks like anybody can be an Instagram model nowadays, right? There are a lot of Instagram models. There are a lot of people selling products and companies reaching out to these people to be their name or the face of a product. There's a lot of people specifically promoting like, gyms and promoting exercise and promoting fitness. And I think, not to say that it doesn't happen in other related fields, but it certainly does. But I think it's really important to note, again, I'm not going to mention names, but there are some really big influencers. And an influencer is any of these people on social media. So any platform, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, whatever it is. If you have a large following, you are considered an influencer because you have the ability to influence a lot of people. So I think the first thing to note is that on Instagram specifically, not to say that it isn't on other platforms, but I see it mostly on there. I've done a lot of research on this, so I'm not just making it up. You can as well if it's something that interests you or you want to know more about. I mean, it's just a Google away. So Instagram, there are a lot of fitness models. A lot of fitness models that young people are aspiring to be like. I mean, I've seen pictures with comments like body goals, you're exactly how I want to look, I hate myself, I want to look like you, like to the extreme. And a lot of these people, not everybody, but a lot of these people are altering their photos. They're either using a filter or they're using straight up, like changing the shape of their hips, the size of their hips, the size of their bums, the size of their breasts. I mean, everything. They are altering everything and they're posting these images. And what we need to be aware of that these are not realistic images. And some of these people are going as far as to claiming like that they got this body through squats when they didn't. They didn't get their body through squats. They modified the picture. And I'm not by any means saying that there aren't people that actually look like this. I'm just saying that we can't believe everything we see. Just like in mainstream news, like fake news, right? It's the same thing. Like, I don't understand how people can read stories and read like breaking news and read studies and not do research behind it. Like if it's something important to you or something that you follow, you should, I think, delve into that a little bit and see how truth it is. There's a lot of news out there that's not true. I think a lot of us know this. A lot of us are awake enough that we know this, but there's a lot of news that's not true. So if we know enough now to not believe everything we read, we also can't believe everything we see. So all these claims of, you know, I did lunges for 2 weeks and whatever the claim is, or this protein shake does this for me. Whatever the claim is, most of this is about money. As we know, it's about advertising, it's about money. But I think that it's not fair to alter images, use filters, use all these things without telling people. When you have a following of people that are looking up to you and they're trying to emulate you, especially young people, I think it's important that we know that this is going on. I'm going to take it like to an example that we will all know, because many people, especially my age, are not probably following these people on Instagram. Like, I'm not. I just am aware of what's going on. But for example, there's a very famous family. Again, I'm not going to mention names, that we all know. Many of us know them as fairly good-looking family that is famous for no reason, really. They have no reason to be famous. So you probably know who that family is. So if you do follow this family, whether it's by watching their reality show or on social media or magazines or whatever it is, or maybe your daughters are looking up to them, because a lot of young women are looking up to this family like it's insane. So if you know of who I'm talking about, if you were aware of what they looked like several years ago, I mean, to me, it's painfully obvious that many of them have had surgical procedures done to them. Like, it's really painfully obvious. There's no question in my mind. And my thing is, I'm not about to lecture people on what they want to have done to their body. It's not my body, it's your body, right? And that's my own opinion. What my opinion is has nothing to do with what people do to make themselves happy. And, you know, who am I to judge that? But what I do have a problem is when you are an influencer like this family, prominent family is, and you have young girls and young men thinking that these bodies are attainable. They are not attainable through exercise and diet and this. Like, and you know, but that's what you're saying. You're saying that this is just how you wake up and get out of bed, but you've had 3 hours of hair and makeup, and you've had surgery on several parts of your body. And again, it's not a judgment of that, but I think you owe it to your fans, your followers, the people that you influence, to let them know, especially when it's a younger age group. And I'm finding that more and more these days that people are just, younger people especially, are just assuming that this is how their celebrity idols look, and it's not. And it was the same when I was younger too, but in a different way. But it was the same thing, right? People were having procedures done, but not at the rate that they were today. So I'm just saying, again, not a judgment on the surgery, but I think you owe it to your fans, younger fans, to let them know. And there's also, you know, a potential problem with that, because we have younger people running out now and getting surgery to emulate these people. So I don't really know, I'm not really sure what the answer is, but I think it's absolutely imperative to educate people on the fact that, you know, people are putting on a persona that's not always attainable. Like, it's not even attainable for them unless they have, you know, all this work done or all this makeup or all this whatever done to them. And one of my favorite sayings from all time is from a supermodel named Cindy Crawford, who was really big in the 80s. And I did follow her in the 80s. I had magazine clippings I saved of her. I wanted to be her. She was my, you know, celebrity idol. I wanted to be her. I wanted to look like her. I was bummed that I didn't. I fell into the trap. So we don't just need social media for this to happen. I mean, it happened to me, as I'm sure it happens to all of us at some point in our life. So when I was younger, I was heavily influenced by her. But I'll never forget something that she said that really was like an awe moment for me, because it was so important to be said. And I love that she said it. And her famous quote is, "Even I don't wake up in the morning looking like Cindy Crawford," right? And it's true. And I love that she said that. And I think she's actually aged very well, and she's gorgeous and beautiful. And she still says that about herself. Like, you know, I need some help in the morning, and I need this and I need that. So I love that there's that realistic aspect. And again, that's what it is. We need to get back to that realistic aspect. And, you know, not everybody can leave their house looking like a fashion model. Like, because you're not a fashion model, right? And there's a reason you're not a fashion model, is because you are you, and you're meant to look like you and not someone else, right? And it took me years and years and years to realize this, but I did. And I think it's sad that we are comparing ourselves to other people when we're not those people, right? You have to be your own beautiful, not someone else's beautiful. Be your own beautiful. So we've discussed how people alter photographs, and the plastic surgery thing is a whole other issue. Again, it's not a judgment, but what I find personally sad, and you are entitled to your own opinion, I find it very sad that there is a girl that I follow on YouTube, and I follow her on Instagram, and I really like her. She's got a really good attitude about a lot of things. She's a popular, positive person, but she films herself getting her boobs done, her butt done, she got her lips done, she got Botox done, she got all these things done. And yes, she is admitting to people that she got it done, so there's respect there for her. But at the same time, I'm shocked. Like, she's 20 years old. She's 20 years old, everybody. 20. Botox at 20? Are you kidding me? Like, is it just me? Like, what's going on in the world? What is now that the expectation for perfection is just like, it's getting worse and worse and worse, and we need to do something about it, you know? We really do, and I find it very sad. I'm not judging these people, but I find it sad. Like, 20 years old? I mean, I guess I understand if you're an older person and you're in the film industry and the pressure is there, but 20 years old getting Botox done and fillers, and I don't know. I find it very sad. So we're getting all these ideal body images kind of like shoved in our face. And even now, like, even, you know, I remember one time I posted a video recently, actually, on my Instagram account, and it was a filter from Snapchat, and I just assumed that everybody would know it was a filter, and everybody's like, oh, your skin looks so good, this looks so good. And then I realized, oh, it looks like I've had, like, none of these lines were showing. None of this was showing, and it looks like I had, so I commented, no, I didn't get Botox and fillers. Like, it's just a filter. But I figured everybody would know it was a Snapchat filter, but not everybody did. So it just goes to show you, not everybody realizes that, you know, and I was just doing it for fun. It was some silly thing I was doing, but not everybody realizes, like, all the things that can be manipulated. And it's got, like, even worse than it was. They're manipulating images. They're manipulating everything. And people are doing it to their own photos. And going back to that famous family, they have their own paparazzi that they have hired. Their own paparazzi. So they follow them around, take pictures of them, and then it goes through the family, or like particular members of the family. And then they sometimes alter the picture, then say, okay, now you can use it. Or they ask them, can you make my hips look bigger? Or can you make this look smaller? Can you make my, I don't like the way my hair looks. Can you do this? Can you change my skin color? I want it to look a little more tanned. I look a little bit pale. This is what they do. And then they alter the photos, and then the family says, okay, fine, now you can print that. And then it goes to print. So you're seeing all these pictures of this particular family, and if they're doing it, I mean, who else is doing this, right? And the only reason this came out is because this particular family was on vacation last year, and one of the daughters was photographed in a very unflattering light. I didn't think it was unflattering. I thought she just looked like a real woman. But I mean, to her, it was like the end of the world. And then she was, you know, crying and saying, well, the media's done this. They're trying to make me look bad. They're trying to make me look bad. And a lot of people fell for it. But the truth is, they weren't trying to make you look bad. That's how you really look. You're altering photos in the opposite way to make yourself look good at all the time. And it's like just an unattainable image. It's really not good. So we need to be aware of this. We need to make our kids aware of this. We need to make our nieces aware of this, our nephews aware of this. We need to make everyone aware of this. So we're trying to have these unrealistic body images are thrown, and they keep changing what's in, right? So when I was younger, it was really, the thing was to be thin. That was the thing. So everybody wanted to be thin. I mean, if you were, you know, if you had a little bit of a butt, it wasn't good. Like, it just wasn't, like being young and being easily influenced, the thing was to be thin, to be thin. Now it's kind of gone the other way. And now everybody's got big bums and big boobs, but these tiny, tiny waists. And it's just like, everybody's looking like cartoon characters, right? And I mean, and if you're naturally built that way, which a lot of people are shaped like this, which is like good for you. But it's just, again, like, not everybody's meant to look the same. And this is kind of what, I don't have a problem with the way anybody looks, but I have a problem with the influence and how everybody thinks they're supposed to look like that when we're not. We're all individuals with different looks. So another thing I've noticed a lot too about social media is there's a lot of body shaming. So somebody will post a picture, and you get one of two things. Either, you know, you're too thick, which is the word now, right? You're too thick, or hips are too big, or you have cellulite, or you have this. I can't believe it, but people write this. I mean, we're all so brave behind a keyboard. Or it goes the other way, right? Oh, you're so skinny. No man wants a bag of bones. Oh, you need to eat a sandwich. Let's just stop shaming people. Like too big or too, let's just stop. Let's just stop commenting on people's bodies and giving our opinion of it. You know, let's just stop. Like, and why is everybody always have to comment on how somebody looks? Why can't it be, oh, you really inspire me, you're so intelligent? Or, you know, I know that you're really passionate about this cause and that's why I follow your page. Like, how about something like that? Everything is about the outside. Everything is about looks all the time. You know, I saw a celebrity posted something the other day and somebody wrote, oh, it looks like you've gained about 10 pounds. Like, what happened? And it had nothing to do with that. It was, the person was posted a picture with their child and was just talking about their child. Like, we need to stop doing this as a society and as human beings, right? Stop shaming. Like, the body shaming has got to stop. I see it all the time. And I think it's due to what I call the Wizard of Oz syndrome. So remember Wizard of Oz, the great and powerful Oz? Remember, he's behind the curtain and he's the great powerful Oz, but then he's revealed that he's just this little meek man that's actually like a bit of a geek. Like, everybody is like the Wizard of Oz when they're on their computer, right? With all these bullies and these people that with these comments, it's not, if you have nothing nice to say, like mom used to say, don't say it. Like, I don't understand why there's all this body shaming and it's so mean and it's just horrible, really horrible. I think we're better than that as a society. Let's stop that. And commenting on people's appearances all the time. I mean, yeah, like I read it too, like, oh, you look so beautiful or whatever. But, you know, we really need to be aware of that. It's not just about the outside looks, right? So when we compliment people, we should compliment them, especially younger people that we know, on how smart they are and how passionate they are about something, or how wise they were to do this decision, or how brave they were, or courageous, right? Let's try to focus a little more on that as a society. On social media, things that you can do or your children can do is just follow inspiring people. Not follow these people that make you feel bad about yourself, or, you know, have this unattainable body and they're just posting pictures of their body every 5 minutes and like it makes you feel bad. Don't follow them. Follow inspiring people. Follow people with an intelligent message, right? They might happen to look a certain way, but have an inspirational message. People with purpose. Follow people that have a purpose. Follow people with information that you can learn, that you can get educated on something, that people that have something to say, not just look a certain way, right? People you know. Follow more people you know than celebrities. If it's going to make you feel bad or pressured to look a certain way, you know, follow more people you know. Not to say that you can't know some great, you know, some people that have great figures or anything like that. But I'm just saying, like, the pressure is not so much because you know how that person looks in real life. So you're not getting fooled by anything. And focus on complimenting people on things other than their appearance, right? Like maybe their clothes, like, oh, that's a beautiful fabric, or I love that dress, or, you know, your boots are great, your hair looks great, I like the way you've done your makeup today, I like the way you express yourself, I like your individuality, you know, congratulations on your job promotion, you know, I aspire to be like you, or, oh gosh, I wish I read as many books as you do because I just don't have the time, you know, things like that. Let's focus more on things like that. And the bottom line and the most important message with social media, you have control over what you look at in social media. You have control of that. I've done this myself. I've unfollowed people, either that I didn't like their attitude, or they were complaining about things, or maybe they were a little bit negative. Like, follow positive people, and you have control over this. You can control your social media. You can, you know, not see people's things on your feed. You can unfollow somebody that's, you know, maybe not setting a great example, or again, making you feel bad about how you look, or some unattainable thing. You know, I was following all these people on Instagram. I'd say last year, I was following a lot of people that worked out all the time. And then I injured myself, so I was not able to work out. So I just unfollowed everybody. And it's not, I didn't feel like, when I really looked back, I didn't feel like they weren't giving me any tips on how to work out. They weren't, you know, giving me anything. They weren't giving me a set on what to follow. They were just posing in their little gym shorts and everything. Like, Why am I, why? Right? And no, again, no offense to them, but I don't want that on my feed. I don't want these images on my feed, like myself. So we have control over what we see on social media. So I hope I've given you some food for thought when it comes to social media. If you do have young children or teenage children, you might want to get them to watch this video. You might want to explain to them, or, you know, explain to them that there are things that don't believe everything you see. Not everything's realistic. Unattainable body image, like body images that we see. You might want to explain this to them, or you might want to go on YouTube and do a Google search of how people manipulate photos and filters and things like that, so that they understand, because they may not understand. Some adults don't understand. They believe everything they see, or everyone looks that way. So, you know, it's really important. So you do have control. Hopefully this helped you in any way, and I just wanted to get out this message today. I think it's really important in today's day and age, and I want you to be well. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.